Okay, guys, and a big welcome to JMA, a big welcome to Reading. Beautiful sunny afternoon outside. Of course, we're not outside, and it's decent bit of indoor floodlighting in the sports hall. And a great welcome, great for me to welcome DC, Danny Carter, back to the co-commentator's chair. And Danny, a big welcome to you. Thank you for joining us again. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you for having me back. Looking forward to today's game.
Yeah, well, you must have done something well because you got a re-invite, and that's it's always a positive sign. So we're gonna, in about 30 seconds, DC, we're gonna have a look at the rosters. But obviously, Rockets come off a tough one yesterday, as most teams in the division do when you play Kestrels. But what stuck out for you when you had a little look at that Kestrels team?
I mean, that roster is absolutely outstanding. And I think a lot of people need to remember as well that as good as the roster is, they have great coaching. They have a really good foundation. They're in a really good situation. And Rockets, you know, maybe they want to just improve on just some simple things that they didn't do too well yesterday. It was a tall order yesterday. Every team in the league has found it a tall order against Solent this year. But today I think it's going to be more about how they bounce back and put that one behind them, but take some good positives from it as well.
Yeah, okay. And as we get the start to get the rosters up on the screen for everyone, and we'll talk through them team by team, DC. And there's a couple of changes as well to that Rockets team that we'll have a look for. Shaun Williams, 5 Reece Pinnock, 6 Jacob Samuel Tate, 7 Latrell Maitland, 8 Ben Dixon, 9 Sam Tolawase, 10 Chuck Deroux, 11 Sam Grant, 12 won't be Leon Francis today, but he will be. He has got on the roster. 13 Ronnie Ogekwe, 14 Jacob Stouts, and 15 Jazz Baines. Anything on there that just pings out to you straight away?
I think the end of the game yesterday, where a lot of the young guys got some extra playing time due to the score, etc. I think that's something that's really good. So Tautus and Ronnie, I think did really well. And I'm quite interested to see, with Leom out, Chuck's going to get a bit more. Sam's got to play a bit more inside potentially, and I think they're going to be quite key. Rockets today, as a game plan, they're going to need this backcourt of theirs to really put up some production in the scoring box.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a massive key for them. But I'm looking forward to how the young guys and how the other guys that are going to get some more time today, how they perform.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a look at the Newcastle Knights roster as well. We get that up. I think there's probably even some players there that you may have even played against, DC, over the years, which I shouldn't be so surprised because you're actually still relatively young. But a lot has been said of Blaine and the impact that he's had on the division so far. And I know you talked to me before about some of the highlights that you've seen. Talk to me about having a player like Blaine on your roster.
He's one of those guys. He's such an explosive player that at any stage of the game he can kind of ignite. He can score in bunches. He can score quickly. And I think that's someone that even if has a slow start, he's going to carry on moving as the game goes on. Yeah.
Well, let's look at them then. Number 2, David Moyer. Number 4, Themba Yabantu. 6, Charles Smith, that isn't travel with the team today. There's a conversation. 7, Brandon Federici. 8, Abu Ramadan. 9, Jacob Cawthorne from the Cawthorne family. 11, Ronald Blaine. 12, Emmanuel Kagabenle. 14, John Cook. 15, Nicola Early, who I think you know about as well, DC. 16, Kwame Selleck-Cole. And head coaches, you've got Mark Elderkin from the Elderkin family, who've done an awful lot. As you know, Danny, you've coached, played against him and his brother, I think, and you've been played against his dad, would have coached teams against him there. And of course, Coach Alan Keane leads his troops out again today with Dan Lloyd and Matt Williams. So what about this Newcastle roster? What things have popped up from you there?
Absolutely. I really like the play of Moyer and Federici. I think they play the game very smoothly. They're going to get guys involved. And I just think that they're the kind of people that are going to get everyone else involved first and then get theirs in the flow of the game sort of thing. And Federici especially kind of lets the game come to him. And then dictates and picks his spots, which is a really enjoyable guy to watch, to be fair.
Yeah, and really good insight as well from DC for those of you that have been around the division. So Newcastle new into the division and come in with a really tidy roster. Good links as well up north. Newcastle basketball, across all the ages, the males, the females, everything is now seems to be clicking up there, and a lot of investment of time and seeing Coach McLeod, who is a assistant coach to Alan KEANE for many a year. So Newcastle basketball is very, very rich, and seeing a lot of these guys out there, and universities doing so well, because traditionally we had Northumbria in the division. So good to have a university representing us. The referees are going to be ready soon as we just look into the sort of final words from Coach KEANE, and echoing your words there, DC, are wanting to do some simple things and get some confidence going. How important is it going to be? You said about the perimeter guys. How important will it be maybe for them to get some free throws early or get a couple of easy looks? Would that be something that you'll be looking for early on?
Absolutely. You know, if I'm, Reese or Showen, I'm really coming into this game in attack mode. And I think that's really, really key. Don't force the perimeter too much. See if we can get something off the dribble. And then after that, let's see if we can pick something up on the defensive end that we can get some cheap ones going as well.
Yeah. And that will certainly be something as the players now start to get ready, and for this second game in a row for Rockets. And as I was speaking to Solent Kestrels yesterday, were 4 weeks on Saturday, Sunday. So, especially in the times that we're in, players have got to stay mentally ready, physically ready, and I think before the game as every game. And as the players get ready for tip-off, it'll be Sam Grant. But DC, just talk us through that bit about what bounce back really is going to mean. What's it going to look like as a 50 or over 52 people joining us at the moment? Nice to see everybody. But what does that mean for the players?
I think, in each group you're going to have some things that you agree on as a group, and they're the things you're going to look at. But I think some effort plays, maybe some offensive rebounds, maybe also looking after the ball a little bit better. Quite a lot of turnovers yesterday. Yeah. Great job by Tolawese inside there. I think they're the kind of things, how many extra possessions can you get on the offensive glass, and how many times can you not give them extra possessions?
Yeah, and Mark Hale was saying yesterday as we watched this Solent game, he didn't feel as though Rockets got enough under the bucket cheap. And interesting to see Sam T straight away comes out as Newcastle finish on the reverse, and Pinnock takes it up the floor. So let's keep an eye out for this transition offense that we've been looking for as well. Dixon reverses it to Pinnock, finds O'Showen for that corner three that he nails straight away, and good signs already for the Rockets with 5 points in the first 40 seconds. Well, a Sleep Wolf 1 is a massive shout out to number 16.
Right move.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, DC, you would have enjoyed that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, that's the kind of thing I'm here to see.
There's Dixon from the opposite corner, and Rockets go 3 for 3 in the first minute and 20, and I've got 8 points.
Shades of Leicester last weekend, if that goes in. Yep, shades of Leicester's opening quarter last weekend. Yeah.
So DC, when you're here, Rockets shoot the lights out in the first 5 minutes.
Unfortunately, so's the other team.
Yeah, and Rockets get a 10-6 lead. We say at the beginning of a lot of these games, we're going to score 170 points here. Moyer, this is a tough matchup as he lines up a three, and he makes it as well. Moyer, a real handful for teams in this division, real high quality. Interesting that Blaine hasn't started, Danny. You read anything into that?
Potentially picking up maybe a bit of a knock or something.
Yeah.
But Tolawese's mobility on the offensive glass is going to be a real problem for Newcastle. Sam's going to have to play quite big here down low right now.
Yeah.
Good job.
Hands
really
by
good
Pinnock.
job.
Yeah. And Matthew Tomlinson, I thought that said Matthew Johnson. I thought it was me commenting there, but it says Nico with the back down. Matthew DC was very happy with that. Is part of the big man club. Whenever they do anything like that, remotely athletic or quick, they will cheer each other. Big, deep three. Federici trying his range early. And
great job by Pinnock.
Yeah. And good to see Pinnock as well. And
yeah.
Oh, what a block by Dixon in transition.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to count.
Yeah, the foul was called on Tolawese. So we've just seen some good signs, haven't we, there, DC, for this Rockets team as they slender lead 12-9. We've just seen transition offense. Pinnock going flying. Federici's had a line drive. Tolawese jumped 17 feet in the air to clean that one.
That's Sam's 4th rebound already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that will be something that coach is looking at. Sam Grant likes to look at that open one as well. That's a good shot for him to shoot. He's got a tough job down the other end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good help by Tolawase. Good help again down from Pinnock.
Great job by Schoen.
Yeah, off goes Williams.
And that right there is exactly what that kind of gets your backcourt going.
Yeah, but now straight back is Moyer on the 2-on-1 as he didn't get his feet set quite quickly enough. Rockets 14-9 and time out to Newcastle University, DC.
And
we are.
It looks like Blaine's coming in.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's no panic stations for either team here, but good start for Coach Keane. Will he be happy with that?
I think he will be. I think the effort on the offensive glass and attacking, etc. I think that's something he's going to be really pleased to see. And obviously his guys are going to be tired. Long game yesterday.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe 1 or 2 baskets that you probably like a bit more of a cohesive defensive effort, but I think it's a good start for Rockets, bouncing back from yesterday's performance.
Yeah, and you've played in many a game as well. When you're playing, when are you sort of considering different things as players on the floor? When the lead when it gets to what? I mean, Newcastle, no one's worried about that now. It's 5 points, and that can go in a matter of seconds. So, but is there a point where you're thinking as a player on the floor, right, guys, we've got to do something about this? Is there a number in your head, or is it just a flow or a feel in the game?
I often felt that when you get to 67 minutes into the first quarter, you kind of got the bit of ebb and flow of who on the other team is kind of feeling themselves a little bit, and who on your team is either needs to boost their confidence, is quite confident in themselves. And I think that's quite a big thing that maybe you want to just feel some guys out. We've made a couple of perimeter shots early.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to try and find them again quickly, sort of thing. Sam's taken 2, hasn't gotten down. What can he do now to adjust to get himself going? Can he get a tip on the offensive end? Can he go get an offensive rebound and get himself going that way?
Right, good. So let's keep an eye out for sort of different players' confidence levels as they find their way into the game as well for both teams. Interesting with Tolawase playing really strong. What a pass. What a pass.
What a pass.
DC, I don't think we've seen Coach Keane using Tolawase as almost as like a very small 5, but he's an absolute handful.
Oh, but I've played against Sam many a time, and so strong, so athletic. Come on, Sam, big up here. Good defense by Sam Grant there.
You're happy with that, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Big man club. Oh, Schoen blocked by Blaine.
Great recovery.
Interesting matchup, DC, to keep our eyes on, where you've got Blaine being covered by Pinnock. So Pinnock being one of the best defenders, surely, in Division 1, a superb athlete as well. It gets that assignment as well. So it'd be interesting to see if Pinnock can balance that with getting his offense and guarding the best player on the opposite team, or one of the most dangerous.
Absolutely. I think Pinnock needs to get his offense in transition. That's his strength.
Yeah.
And then
just as you say that, he absolutely scorches past Blaine in half court, gets the foul.
Big fan of Reece Pinnock. Big fan of Reece Pinnock's game.
Yeah, and I think everyone is as well. 85 of you joining us here, and if you've just joined us here, Rockets have started off really well. Newcastle had a long journey down this morning as well, so frequently you see teams as young Cawthorne comes into the game.
And that's another thing as well. It's a long way back when you lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way back if you live 2 minutes away if you lose, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As Pinnock just misses that one, and Dixon gets a rebound. Schoen Williams wants another one, and boom, straight away.
And I like this. Last week I felt Schoen took a bit too long to get himself into the game. I like how aggressive he's come out today.
Yeah. You want to see that, don't you, from your scoring lead, especially yesterday. I think Solent did a very good job making life difficult for Williams. He got very few easy ones into Cawthorne in the post. The travel called, and Cawthorne wondering whether his dad is watching and dialed in from somewhere. Because if he was, I bet he wouldn't agree with that call. I'm putting words in his mouth, of course. The reversal.
He's probably in range to
Williams
shoot.
has got another one, DC. He's made another one as well. That's his third 3, as Rockets have scored 22 points in under 5 minutes.
And this is the thing now. Last week, they started rushing themselves when they were scoring early. Can they keep that composure now? Great job by Reece.
Yeah, and DC, I'm going to say, I think this is a totally different Rockets team in terms of their attitude towards defense from a really difficult time yesterday.
I think,
and yeah, you can see that Pinnock just gets called, and he's probably going to say he's in the no charge area, isn't he? Is he?
I think that's a tough call.
But look at Ronnie Agekwe and Jazz Baines there.
I think that's a tough call.
They get ready to come in as Moyer controls offense for Newcastle, and there's a
UCLA
cut.
Sam Grant needs to back off that back screen right there and just kind of slow the runner down.
Yeah, and they'll...
Good post from Sam.
Pinnock again finds his way in and again receives a foul. I think one of the things we were talking about yesterday with Mark Halewood on the commentary was about Rockets really needing to be able to get fouled, to be able to get the other team, and that's the second foul, and that's the third.
Great job.
Yeah.
Savvy by Dixon there as well. Caught the guy sleeping.
Is there something about this makeup of a group where there's 5 guys on the floor for Rockets that are comfortable in their own offense as well? Is there anything to do with that, or do you just think it's a different opposition, different time as Dixon shoots the first one? The problem with that one is it's about half a court too short for him, because he made a halfway liner yesterday.
I think right now you've got 5 guys on the floor that are very clear in their role.
Yep.
I think that makes life 10 times easier because you're trusting in what somebody else is going to do because they don't step out of their role. I think that's key for guys coming into the game. Yeah. Brilliant job by Pinnock.
Yeah. So tough as well. Such great hands.
Absolutely.
And Blaine's on the run. Oh, hits Dixon at 30 miles an hour. And Dixon runs it right back at them. Sam Grant likes to look at that matchup. Got it stripped. And Blaine's off again, and Moyer and straight back into it. Cawthorne goes, makes the layup. And timeout by Coach Keane. A good timeout, I think, DC.
Very good timeout, yeah. Momentum just switched the other way a little bit, and it's a good way to stop the run.
So we just saw then, well, we saw a couple of things, didn't we, where Rockets penetrated, beat Newcastle's first line of defense and just lost the ball. So what is that, a spacing thing? Is it just an individual thing? Is it better defense by Newcastle? What goes into that?
It feels a bit like deja vu, if I'm honest, from last week. You know, we started scoring early, get some really good shots, some good looks, good offense, you know, hitting guys where we want to be. And then all of a sudden now we're speeding up when we don't need to.
Yeah, okay.
Taking some quicker shots, maybe putting the ball on the deck when their defense is set, we don't need to.
Yeah.
Just have some trust in your offense, have some patience, move it around a bit more and then take your spots afterwards. You know, that one by Sam, maybe just over-dribble a bit too early. Receive it, go the other way, get some more actions going. Yeah,
and again, I think that's it's a lot easier from up here, isn't it? We're very good at seeing it from up here now.
He's a young man as well. He's still learning, absolutely.
And I think that's one of the things you said earlier, as you know, as a player, you want to quote unquote get in the game, don't you? You want to be in the game, and you want to feel as though the ball's gone in the hoop for you. You want to feel as though you've got your range on an outside shot, or you know, and shooters want to shoot. So you know, Williams has got his eye in really, really early. So can he continue that, because that could be tough for Newcastle to do something about.
I think that's another thing as well. Like as a player, Williams has made 3 threes. When's the last time we've got him a touch in a position where he's comfortable after he's made 3 threes? I think that's the kind of thing as well. Just being a bit more savvy as a group, get your huddles together. Yeah. What we run in next? Let's see if we can get a show and another shot.
It's interesting to see now. So Newcastle staying in man-to-man defence. They're obviously feeling as though they can make some changes, and
Rockets dive here.
With the handoff, goes back to Tolawese against Blaine on the wing. Let's see, and that finds Grant inside. That's a great find as well. And I know you're going to like that, DC.
Absolutely. What I will say though, that should never happen. Yeah. That Sam Grant takes the shot by the rim, and he's the guy then tracking the ball about. Where's everybody else?
Yeah,
get back and protect your basket.
Yeah, so interesting point that, isn't it? And that's
great effort by Sam.
So in the good old days, the big men did all the rebounding, right? You know, that was the job. And then you didn't.
I didn't do that.
No, you don't. I say the big men in inverted
I was protecting the basket.
But in theory, we'll have to talk about that, won't we? As
no fast break points against me when I was playing.
As your Bantu goes to the line for 2. First one, strokes it straight through the middle.
I think that's something as well that Coach Keane isn't going to be too pleased with. You know, Sam's done something really good. He's got good post up. He's been aggressive early. missed it, that's fine. He'll make the next one. But the fact that he's then having to pick up someone at three-quarter court and run back with them.
Yeah.
Coach Lloyd looks like he's talking to him right now.
Yeah, right, good. And really interesting to see that right then Blaine was the one that picked up Williams on that matchup.
Yeah.
So he clearly wanted that one as it's kicked Chuck Duru's
good
back
adjustment by Newcastle.
Yeah, oh, what a pass by Duru as well, DC.
Brilliant job.
Really nice and patient, yeah, just almost like they're all dialed into your last timeout. And good bit of veteran savvy from you,
and I think,
Coach Carter.
And I think that's what Chuck gives you as well. He gives you a bit of composure, gives you a bit of patience.
Yeah, look at this defense as well.
And already he's tuned in and help side. He knows his scout, he knows his matchup. Yeah. And right there, straight away, great job.
Yeah, and
it doesn't go in the box score, what Chuck's done on that possession, but it's good team defense.
Yeah, and I should think Coach Keane will be a bit frustrated about that, where Moyer comes straight off with his feet set. He'll want Dixon to be closer than that.
Yeah, absolutely. One more.
Yeah, Tolawese with the corner three. Looks long from here, but guess
what?
Great
job by Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck goes and gets after it again. Ball stays with the Rockets.
Great job.
Okay, into the game for the first time comes Jazz Baines, and out goes Ben Dixon with positive vibes. Baines.
Oh.
Fortunately, he threw it to Tolawese, who's absolutely crazy athletic, and he plucked that out of the air. Federici finds Moyer. He's looking for another, really well put together. And Cawthorn goes over the much smaller Baines.
Transition defense again, though.
Yeah.
Great job by Reese.
Yeah, and it's interesting, is it, DC? Because I think a few years ago you would be saying that, you know, after a score, a foul called on Chuck Duru against Jacob Cawthorn. Holding foul.
Unfortunate, that one.
And we're over the 100 mark of people joining us live. And into the game, and this is one thing that you will really like, and for you, Mark Howard, watching from home, or you should be if you're at your son's birthday, Ronnie Agekwe comes in after a great 4-5 minutes for him.
Absolutely.
And he straight away steals it. And Coach Keane's going to be happy with that, isn't he, DC?
Absolutely.
Oh, and
Jazz wanted that about 2 seconds earlier.
just mishandled that. And you're going to like the fact that he's been rewarded, aren't you? Like young Ronnie, who's coming, he's now going straight against Cawthorn.
And I was the biggest one for making sure the young guys knew that you had to earn everything in practice, in games, but also making sure you are rewarded when you do earn it. And he put in some good minutes yesterday. He really competed, and he's earned to be on the floor early in the game today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Moyer just misses a long three. Williams tried to snag it off Cawthorn and doesn't quite get it, and gets called for the foul. And if Cawthorn makes these two, we're at a one-shot game. He misses the first one. It still gives me the shivers when I see that name. And Todd Cawthorn hit a three to win the game against us. And it had been the same three that he'd been making for about 15 years previously. Good job, Coach Johnson. Agekwe reversed it. Williams gets a look at another one. That one's short rim off the head of Chuck. Controlled by Moyer, and Blaine into the, looking as though he wants the one-on-one.
Absolutely.
And Newcastle want this post up against the smaller Rockets team. And there's Federici with his third attempt as he strokes that one through. And Rockets lead is now 2. Good. Oh, what a move by Chuck Duru as well. Yeah, and let's go into the comments here. We've got Sandra, famous Sandra Minchin. You must be
Rockets legend.
You're definitely her favourite player ever. She says, "Let's go Rockets, let's go." I think she says it more rhythmically than I just said that. If you know what I mean.
Would it be hard, would it, man?
Asleep Ball says, good thing Newcastle will be taking home that W. So, yeah, obviously big Newcastle supporter. And Chuck strokes the free throw. And we've got, please, guys, you have to play better defense and don't rush in transition. And Ross Blaine, I'm assuming of the Blaine family, says, let's go, Ronald. Get after them, son. So lots of support for both teams. As Pinnock was guarding the much bigger Cawthorne and didn't worry him one iota. He slapped it off his leg and told the referee. So out of bounds. Agekwe now on the Cawthorne matchup. Pinnock against Blaine, who pushed the three up, just misses. And Cawthorne comes out of nowhere and Agekwe lands on him.
I think that's just where a young man needs to understand at this level. Might need to box first before then going to get it every single time.
Yeah, so, and I think that's the tricky one. You saw that on the replay there, and great replays brought to us as ever by the stream team here at JMA as Cawthorne goes to the line again. So Cawthorne comfortable at that line as he strokes that one in. And he goes to 5 personal and O'Showan Williams is just short on the last 2 threes that he's attempted. And Blaine going wildly at the defense. Moyer counter drives, foul called.
Tough sequence there for Rockets. Tough sequence, no ball movement on offense, bit of an isolation, perimeter shot, and then again that first line defense needs to be a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
With the big Setautus now coming in.
Yeah, and Jacob, young Jacob, and it's traditional to say that he's from Northampton before you get caned by all the Northampton people on watching. Up to 111 of you as Moyer. Oh, misses the first one. I thought that looked good from here. Just slightly off right for him. Very good young guard, Moyer. Already 10 points, misses 2 free throws. Setautus did exactly what you told him to do, DC. Boxed out first, claimed the rebound easy. It's looking like a bit of zone now.
Oh.
And I think Pinnock getting absolutely whacked. Baines stands up Federici as he throws the 3 up and it counts. What a play to tie the first half from Federici right underneath our nose. Baines jumps in the air. Federici, I think that's got an up and under, isn't it?
Double pump.
A double pump and makes it on the buzzer to tie the score. So we're on here, DC. If this carries on to be, and there it is right at the end. You can just see him get underneath it. Brilliant and stuff. Says, "Yep, there you go, ref." So, would you be a bit frustrated on that last play that we didn't go later to take that because it still gave enough time for Newcastle? Would you want the? I think it was Pinnock. Would you want him to wait a second and a half, 2 seconds?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And even if they've shielded up and you have to maybe go somewhere else or do something else, I think that's really key. I mean, he probably feels hard done by, and I agree with him. He got whacked, and
absolutely.
No whistle was called. But at the same time, that's where you've got to be a bit more savvy. And time is your friend, you know, you don't want to risk that opportunity. So he's probably frustrated. He's a smart enough guy who'll make those adjustments. But I mean, you're also not counting on someone making a double pump 3.
Yeah, I mean, the quarter. You don't get that on the scout very often, do you? No. So for Newcastle, Moyer leads all scorers for them with 10, with Federici with 6, Cawthorne with 6 as well, and Yabanta with 4. And for the Rockets, Williams with a very early 11. Pinnock 2, Dixon 6, Tolawase 6, Sam Grant 2, Chuck DeRue 3. So you'd be pleased if you're watching the game that we've got a number of guys from both teams that have, they're in the game, aren't they? They've seen the ball go through the ring.
Absolutely.
And it'd be interesting to see now that's without young Blaine, who just gave us the eyes from down there. He's only got 2 points, and I don't think it will stay like that. seeing
Absolutely
the
not.
energy. And I don't think I've ever seen a player come in with as much energy pre-game. He was dancing around with amazing energy about an hour before the game. So he's a baller. He's ready to go, isn't he?
He's a lot cooler than us.
He's much cooler than us. It doesn't take a lot. Okay, here we go. Second quarter. We start 30 all. And Moya goes at Baines, who stops him. Now we've got Dixon in that Blaine matchup and Cawthorne against Satautus.
Good defense.
Yeah,
Great
and
defense.
that DC, you're going to be happy with that, aren't you?
Yeah.
But not that. And
Great
Chuck
job,
comes out of
Chuck.
that. Yeah, and this is where I think this is
where I
really
wanna
what's
see
going to
him.
help, isn't it? That's the sort of transition that we're going to help. But shooting in traffic, Williams has got to make those. And there is Blaine right underneath us, gave us the eyes and said, I'm going to shoot this one.
Great job, mismatch inside.
Williams shoots another one that just comes out.
But he's got to stay aggressive. I like that. Maybe he needs to try and not be so perimeter heavy.
Yeah,
But I like how aggressive he's been.
Stolen by
Another steal
Chuck again. And Rockets out in transition, finds Satautus. He puts the shoulder in, goes and gets his own rebound and puts it back in and gives it a little mini flex on the way back. DC, I just wanted him to see you give you the finger up there and go, look at me, DC, I'm out there.
Great young man.
Yeah.
So good to see him doing well.
Yeah, Julie Grant will be happy with that as well.
Absolutely.
And here's the one-on-one and good cut back door. Chuck just gets beaten with his head turned. Terrific pass. And Rockets trailing by 3.
Sam Grant looks like he's getting ready to come back into the game. Good job.
Yeah, Williams.
Great job.
Chuck goes in, falls away, shoots it over Blaine. Blaine is flying out, and I think you're going to be looking at that, DC. That's a 3-on-1 break for Newcastle.
I've never understood this with players, with teams. If you're not going to the offensive glass, all you have to do is run back.
Yeah,
There's nothing else that you can do that's useful.
Interesting matchup, that one again. In it goes. Great find by Jazz Baines, DC there. He had the switch against Cawthorne, went against him, drew help, and then put it, as they say, not literally on a plate. But let's be clear to everyone that there's no plates on the court. And there is again that UCLA.
And no adjustment. And this is where, again, you've got to get in your huddles and adjust that on that back screen. The big has to just step off a little bit.
Yeah, and a lot of contact. Awful lot of contact, and you see the finish of that play with Baines and Blaine.
WrestleMania's in town.
Yeah, absolutely. We called the ladies' game, cracking game yesterday, Rockets against Trent, and the effort to get the loose ball by both teams is just something to behold. Tolaway's back in, Sam Grant's back in. Reese Pinnock looks at a 3, just a little bit long. Blaine says to everyone, calm down, everybody.
Coach Keane now saying to his troops, we've got nobody on the offensive glass.
Yeah, and
they're so difficult, by the way. Sam's tipped that out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's so hard to rebound an air ball.
Yeah, and Satautus goes out after 4 good points straight away and good defense.
Good job.
Dixon against Blaine. This is a good matchup. Sam Grant on the switch, now gets back in against Cawthorne. Gets his hand on it.
Good,
Cawthorne
good
too
no
strong
call
though.
as well by the ref there. Great no call by John Letitia.
Yeah. And
ball screen.
Rockets need to find now, get back into that groove because they're good pick there. Air ball by Dixon.
They need to get a stop here.
Yeah.
Backside. Great job.
Great help by Reese Pinnock.
Brilliant job by Reese.
And Baines controls tempo, finds Tolaway's deep, doubled in the post straight away, finds Sam Grant for the layup on the backside. And you're absolutely right, DC. The bench is up. They needed that. Good run by Newcastle Uni.
Absolutely. See if we can get 2 stops in a row now.
Yeah. And that is, where are we looking at that one? Offensive foul, great take. We were listening, and those of you that were listening in, there's 120 of you nearly on the on the stream, and well, I'll ask you this question, DC. I'm going to ask you a team defense question, and then we'll have a quick look at the comments. But one of the things we talked about yesterday against Solent took, I think, 4 charges quite throughout the game, and real commitment. But it wasn't so much commitment. It's like they knew what was about to happen. Dixon then showed the same thing. I think this is a good opportunity to talk about when we're watching the defensive teams, we're not just watching the guy on the ball. So what things should we be looking out for that we saw Dixon do a nice job of there?
I think one of the things, like communication kind of really stems your defense. And when you're communicating, it kind of puts you in the right spot.
Yeah.
And when you're playing on-ball defense and you can trust that there's someone behind you, you can be more aggressive and you can get more into the player with the ball. And that allows us, like Rockets, to play more aggressive. Like we've had some steals early on, and that's been great. We need to try and get back to that. But knowing that someone's behind you, it's got your back.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not playing one-on-one defense the entire time. You're defending as a group. I just think there, like Ben being a little bit older, being a bit more savvy, sort of thing, everyone else can trust him. They know he's going to be where he's supposed to be.
Okay, so what we're going to be looking out for then on the back of that, there's 122 assistant coaches on YouTube that are going to watch out for that. So we're going to watch out for the teams that are defending behind the one with the ball as well. So the guy with the ball will be defending. Just keep your eye on the guy behind him. So if someone gets beaten, we want to see them being stopped if we're a Rockets fan. And if you're a Newcastle fan, as they go zone, a little bit of zone here. Dixon finds it, gets to the seam.
Oh, unlucky.
What
Great
a
job.
slap away. Sam Grant was dunking that before he even had it.
Great defense by Jazz
There's
as well.
Good hands by Sam and a terrific outlet pass. Tolawase with a little Euro step, goes up and under Cawthorne. And Tolawase keeps the scoreboard ticking.
And better transition defense as well. Jazz did a fantastic job of getting back right there. And that displays that we're able to rebound it, and then we're able to go quickly as well.
Yep. And a Sleep Wolf one, I don't think that's their real name, saying keep attempting those threes, Rockets. I don't think you've got any worries about that. So
very explosive, that young
exactly,
man.
I think that's the point, though, that you made before, DC, wasn't it? Blaine goes past Dixon and then takes a layup.
Yeah.
So...
And that's where Sam's just going to be a little bit clever.
As Baines strokes the three. Sorry, what were you saying?
Sam just needs to be a little bit clever. One extra step. We know how aggressive Blaine is going to play.
Okay, right.
So that's it. Knowing your scout and having one extra step already, your starting position is very key.
Yeah, I mean, Cawthorne.
Too easy, though.
Yeah, and this will be
move, but too easy.
Probably going to be the area which is tough. And this is a 4-point game. It's probably the area which is going to be tough, isn't it? Is keeping... defending. Good little runner by
Brilliant
Dixon,
stuff.
DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
And timeout called by Newcastle. Interesting. So I think good timeout in fate. Well, timeout for Newcastle, but I think a good one for Coach Keane because I think he's got 2 or 3 things that he can solve quite quickly. So what are the things that why would Newcastle call that timeout? What's your thinking on that? Is that for defense or some balance? And then what's Coach Keane saying?
I think defensively for Newcastle, Rockets have got a couple of stuff going to the basket now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dixon's got a floater. Sam's been on the offensive glass as well. So they've got some success inside. So I think Coach Elderkin's going to want to try and stop the rut there.
Yeah.
But also Rockets defensively.
Yeah.
You had the stand from Dixon the moment before. And then, like I said, Sam, a little bit of sleep, worried about his guy potentially a bit too much. But where's the threat?
Yeah.
It's always the guy with the ball. I've never known anybody scoring basketball without the ball, and that's always be tuned in.
You sound old. You're sounding old.
But you've got to be tuned in to what's going on. Like, it's a team game.
Yeah.
There's only one person that can score.
Great point. So what we've learned from DC's experience is no one scores without the ball. You can write that one down.
I'm going to pattern that after the game.
Absolutely. So 130 of you dialed in, and you've seen Rockets flew out the blocks. I don't think anyone thought that was going to stay the way that Newcastle were going to play. Newcastle now really behind Jacob Cawthorne, I think, who's been excellent keeping the scoreboard going. Moya shot really, really well. And Blaine starting to get himself going as well.
Yeah.
So here's that Moya pick and roll. And
great pass.
And just missed. And this is going to be one of the tough things for Rockets now is going to be against that size is how are they... Yeah, and that's exactly it. Look at Tolawase's on that one. And And that is exactly the way small man defense, and Tolawese, not
There he
small.
is.
Baines, yeah, and can he? And Dixon has saved it and ended up giving Moyer a wide open wing three that comes out. Reese Pinnock comes and gets it. Dixon gets his hand on it, gets it picked. Baines is on transition. Finds Chuck and foul called, and we can breathe. We can breathe. Goodness me.
I didn't expect the possession to be stopped that way.
Of all the things that happened, I think the ref just said, "That's enough, lads."
He's tired.
Yeah, that's enough. I'm not going up and down like that. Craig Colley has put 2 rockets. I don't know what that means. I just think he means rockets.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
I
he
love
means
that.
this rather than he's outside watching the SpaceX exploration.
I don't know if there's any launches today. So.
William Dinkins, let's go Malik. A bit of personal support there. And where's my boy Charlie Haynes at, says Joe Kincaid. Well, not here. He'll be watching a great game as we go in the corner. Duru, too long on that 3.
Rocket space in there as well. Got a
Yeah.
few space eaters. Play a bit more spread, give each other some options, and then play downhill.
Yeah, there's that ball screen again.
Great defense by Rockets
Yeah,
this time.
much better. And
Great
Dixon gets
job.
his hand on it. Federici, is he going to try the up and under again? And there's good
Great
pass,
job. Long
inside,
2.
outside.
Long 2.
Long 2, towed the line. And it's a 4-point game. And this is a really interesting matchup. Size of Newcastle, really big lineup now, letting Chuck shoot that 3. He's 0 for 3 from there. Coach Keane's going to be looking at that one, whether that's the right shot. And Pinnock gets another steal. Tolowase's out in transition. Oh, stolen. Newcastle. And they drop it and steal it.
I'm loving the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
But a bit of control potentially. I think Coach Keane there probably wants to run something right here.
Yeah, there you go, a spot on. You'll see Coach Keane in the background running that. Trying to find getting a good look here. He's a showing with the back door.
I think
just
a big one there. KYP, know your personnel.
KYP, know your personnel. Okay, right.
Thrown to a showing under the basket with 3 guys down there.
Yeah. But if you'd have caught it and dunked it, you'd have also said KYP, would you?
Yeah, it works in all scenarios.
Federici just runs straight off that screen. And DC, I'm going to say that against the Rockets are doing a good job. Oh, another 3, and Tolawase bangs it in transition.
What he does.
Of course. Tolawase, still the most athletic guy in Britain. Still at the body of a, I was going to say 17-year-old. He's got a much better body than that. Now, that'll be annoying, and Coach Keane will be frustrated at that. Sherwin Williams just left Federici wide open, feet set, bang. He's not going to miss that one.
Absolutely not.
Pinnock gets deep. Again, Chuck. What a rebound by Tolawase. That's the one that Oshoa needs to make.
Oh.
As Chuck gets thrown to the ground, help each other up. Great sportsmanship. Those of you that saw that. 4-point game. Blaine against Dixon. Good. Well managed so far by the Rockets, Blaine, and that energy that he brings. Another long 3. Dixon gets his hands on it.
Rockets
it's
have
the
numbers
4-on-2 as Oshoa Williams jumps 40 feet sideways. And guess what, though, DC?
Transition defense.
Yeah, that's what we've got 4 red vests going one way, and that's a little bit of team immaturity when the layup's there. We need to get people back. Into that 45 cut, goes Pinnock, goes off the other side, sets his feet, looks good and bangs it home. That's good to see, DC.
Absolutely, good execution
yeah,
as well.
Good offense, good selection. Coach Keane just saying now that Rockets have got no team fouls in a quarter. I can't believe that stat. No team fouls. They've got 4 fouls they can give before Newcastle get a free throw. Let's see if they won't want Newcastle to end on a shot. Tolawase goes up, and Coach Keane will not be happy because Rockets had plenty of fouls in the bank there, but DC, 51 points, 54. Both teams were on 30 at the end of the first quarter. And we can have a little breath now with 125 that just got going. What's your thinking? And that's oh, hang on a minute. Before we say that, I think we've got a technical foul on the coach, but I'm not sure. Oh, technical foul against the opposition. Okay, I think he said 4, which would be Yabantu, but don't quote me on that, you YouTube fans, if you could get to see that. But there was definitely a signal for a technical foul there at the end. So I think that means we'll start the game with a free throw.
Yeah.
Neither of us really know the answer here, do we? But
they change so much, I can't keep up.
In all your experience, you don't know.
I was never the guy that got to shoot the free throws anyway.
Yeah, okay. So we'll have a little breather, and as we get set up for Todd and the halftime show. If you are online, then stay online, because we've got a cracking interview with Todd. Lindley is going to be doing a short interview with the chairman, Gary Johnson. But just quick 30 seconds from you, DC.
I think right now both teams want to play fast and want to play up and down. It's great, it's entertaining, but transition defense for both teams is lacking any effort or any nous right now.
Yeah.
You know, if one team shuts the other one down, you're kind of looking at a comfortable win.
Yeah.
But right now we're going to be going back and forth constantly, which, you know, as a spectator, that's what we want to see. But I think as you see these clips right now, there's 3v1s, there's 2v1s, there's 3v2s, and I just think if you can kind of close those scenarios down and limit them, it could be a lot better scenario.
Yeah, good. So as you see, Sean Williams just flying out on the break early on in the game as well. He had 11 early on. So we're going to leave you a few shots of these first half highlights, and then stay tuned in and you'll hear our halftime show with Todd Lindley.
Welcome everyone, it's the halftime show with Todd Lindley. I'm joined by the chairman of Rockets, Gary Johnson. Gary, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. How are you today?
I'm brilliant, thanks Todd, and it's a privilege to be here. Really looking forward to the rest of the game.
Just you mentioned that, what are your thoughts on what happened in the first half? How would you feel about it as a Rockets
Well, I saw Rockets get off at a really good start and open up a 10-point lead, but Newcastle had a timeout and they brought it back to level. And you can see now with the scores just at 51-54, it's exceptionally tight. I think we have to remember that Newcastle are joint third in the league with 9-3 record, and we're a 4-6. So without a couple of our power forwards, we're doing extremely well.
That's amazing. You've seen like the young guys come in as well, like Cavu without injured, obviously. We have like Ronnie, Sam Grant, Latrell coming in a little bit as well. So how important is it for these young guys to get minutes as well?
Absolutely. Part of our policy is when we looked at the composition of the Division 1 team, 6 of the players every game will be from our academy. So they're our youngsters. Some of them, like Sam Grant, is now in his 3rd year with us. So he's got a lot of experience and things, and he's having an outstanding season. But for people like Ronnie and the others, they're teenagers, and it's important for them to get time. Ronnie had a great second half yesterday, but it's good to see the boys out there, and we're a young team at the best in any case.
Yeah, most definitely. It's great to see them out there and enjoying their basketball as well. I mean, they keep playing and playing and playing. One thing we keep talking about on these shows, is I know Matt said it a lot, Danny said it a lot as well, is that we're so thankful for playing in these, given the circumstances that we're in. Can you just give our viewers a bit of an insight about what actually goes on behind the scenes, so in your role, about to get these games on and training as well?
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, obviously, it's a unique year for everybody, and what we're doing is a first, and I hope it'll be a last. I don't want to see this, like the rest of the country, recurring at any time. To put on a game like this, but before we can actually do it, we have to appoint our own COVID officer, and he's got a few people that help and support him. Obviously, before the games, the whole place has to be cleaned, or the balls have to be cleaned, and during the game, they have to be wiped. You'll see if you're not playing, you're wearing a mask, and all of those sort of demands. So, but it's the volunteers that get the show on the road, Todd, and without those, Rockets wouldn't be the club that it is today.
I mean, I'm a volunteer as well, so a lot of them, I work so well together, we work so hard to get these games on. It's just, you never get to see it. Like, you never get to come to games now and see, like, yourself or, like, Matt or anyone like that. You don't see us anymore, so.
No, but I mean, I have to say that with the introduction and the development of the streaming service this year, which has moved phenomenally well, and we're probably regarded as the best streaming team now in English basketball, and that's including the BBL. There's a great team of which you're a member, and Rawson, of course, has been the lead, the technical lead, but it's the composition. You just look around where we're sitting now, the amount of equipment that it takes to do this. But it does mean that the people that can't come to the game can actually see it sat at home,
Which is what we want. We want people to be involved.
Absolutely, and that also gives us an opportunity to showcase the game, so potential sponsors and partners, because I'm all into partnership more than sponsorship. But yes, it's great.
And how important are those sponsors now? You just mentioned them. How important are they in terms of getting something like this involved or any community projects as well?
They're key, and though not many people have got cash today to put into the organisation, but provision of facilities, like the JMA. Without JMA as our key partner, we couldn't be training here and we wouldn't be able to play here. That would mean for the whole, we'd have had to step out of Division 1 this year. So they are that key and that important to us. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Louise, the principal, and the leadership team for supporting us in that way. There are other people that recognise that we're looking always to invest and develop the media program. And so, we've got media sponsors now, and they are key because they're actually putting in some resource as well as time. And that's brilliant.
And like you just mentioned, that we've got a variety of different sponsors to help us put on such a production as it is on game day now. It's a massive production. Like, you obviously got the game day sponsors and you've got the media sponsors. How can people at home get involved? Like we mentioned a lot, like getting involved with the club. How would they get involved?
Right. I think one of the biggest things that we're now doing is, during COVID, it's given us an opportunity to reassess the way we communicate with the community, that is huge to us, and with the club itself. So the use of the social media outlets has been key, without a shadow of doubt. And we're always looking for ways in which those who have and are able to put in maybe the odd pound or two. So we're just introducing a new product, which is a QR code, of which everybody's now is conversant with the NHS and things, and Costa and so forth. So we're looking to do that so that people at home can just get on their phone, 2 presses, and they can donate. So we're looking to involve them in that way. We're keeping them informed, obviously, because communication is vital. So we're reenacting all the time the vision that we have, and that is getting these kids playing at community level and in the club.
As you mentioned just at the community level then, what exciting projects can we look forward to post-COVID or during COVID that we can look forward to?
Yeah, I think the most exciting development at present are what we call the hubs, which is basically recognising the issues that COVID and the impact it's had on the young kids from 4 up to 16 years of age. That's been significant. So we want to remedy that. So we are seeking, and we put out a project called 1,000 Smiles, which is looking to set up 10 community hubs in the next year. And they all cost about £10,000 each to rent in a full year. So we want to start it this year, and that is the biggest exciting project we have going
That's the
forward.
basis, and just to let everyone know as well, it's not just Reading, is it? It's across the whole of Berkshire.
Yeah, absolutely. Reading is where we've started. We are Reading Rockets. This is our home and our birthplace. But we go as far to the east of Slough and out to the west to Newbury. We go south to the Basingstoke borders and north to the Oxford borders. Any 10 locations and towns there or councils that want to support us, we're waiting to hear from them, Todd.
That's brilliant to hear. I mean, it's great to see basketball as well growing in the local area. So not just Reading, but like the local area of Berkshire as well. So it's massive, the spread of the Rockets, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
to see.
and it's an opportunity too for the young coaches, for the people that want to coach in the community. They can come and they can get involved in our community program, and it gives them great experience as they develop to work alongside the athlete and the elite program, here based at JMA.
That's amazing. And just the last point before we go into the second half, the youth program as well, that's another exciting project which young kids can get involved in as well. What's your thoughts on that, as you mentioned about JMA as well?
Yeah, I mean, usually the elite is usually only for the sixth form age kids. Now, with the support of JMA here, we're now introduced a whole elite program starting from year 7 when the boys and girls come here. So for them, they get opportunities they just won't get elsewhere.
That's amazing. So thank you, everyone. That wraps up our half-time show. We're going to leave you with a couple highlights of the first half, and you'll be rejoined by Danny Carter and Matt Johnson for the second half. Thank you ever so much.
Hi everyone, my name's Steph Johnson and I'm Director of Community Programmes at Reading Rockets Basketball Club. So this past year has been a really strange one for all our clubs, not being able to get out there and do some physical delivery with the kids. It's been really hard to not have that. So my role really over lockdown has been to try and make sure that we are providing a programme for the kids, and that's been adapting delivery, adapting games, coming up with new games that you can do in your kitchen. So what we've been doing for our community children is running Zoom sessions for them. Weekly Zoom sessions, different age groups run by our coaches and our Division 1 men. Fun games, things they can do at home, not needing lots of equipment, not needing a massive space. So obviously huge adaptations to the games, but we found a way to stay engaged with them. We've also been running multi-sport sessions for our children with additional needs and SEN. So it's been lovely to still be involved with them, because it's been truly difficult to get back into their schools, even in the small pockets of lifted restrictions. So we've been really busy just trying to find ways to keep kids engaged. We've put a section on our website called Active in Lockdown, which gives them loads of resources, videos, ways they can stay active together over lockdown if they can't make the scheduled Zoom sessions. So I'd really like to thank all our families who have stayed with us and been involved in the Zoom sessions and got their kids ready in their kit, stood in the kitchen with a ball. Thank you, because we will be back soon and teaching them face to face. One of the super exciting things that has come out of lockdown for our club is the programme that we're going to be rolling out called Project 1,000 Smiles. And I'm hugely thankful to Nick Humby, who has been absolutely instrumental in helping us pull together probably one of the biggest programmes we've ever been involved in. Its aim is to get 1,000 kids playing basketball every week and smiling. And that's going to be done through us rolling out 10 basketball hubs across the whole of Berkshire, which can cater for kind of nearly 100 children per hub. It's a hugely exciting programme. It's going to be a chance to get so many more children, so many more families involved in sport. It's going to have a real target for children on free school meals to make sure that they can access the sport as well. And also it's a chance for businesses and companies to really get behind sport in their area, get behind these hubs, help to fund them, and help to fund a hub that's within the community that they are a part of as well. So as much as lockdown has been challenging, the project 1,000 Smiles, we are just ready to go, and it's hugely exciting for the future.
Okay, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed the half-time as well with Chairman and Dad, as he's well known to me in my family anyway, Gary Johnson, talking all things community, talking all things about the club and enthused about the future and also this really difficult time, and talked about the 1,000 Smiles project, I hope, and all the work that's going on there by Steph and her team in the community as we're starting to get ready. And just a little one for you, DC. Coach Billy Beddoe says defence is overrated anyways. So I'll just leave you with that one as we start the second half with the ball belonging to Newcastle Uni.
Yeah, we don't have the same philosophy, me and Mr. Beddoe.
No, clearly. Moya straight into the ball screen. Yeah, and layup missed. And second effort on that one. I should think as early with a really nice pass underneath to Beddoe and stolen away. Newcastle out and running with 4 quick points, and that's a real kick in the stomach, isn't it, DC? Absolutely. When you start the game like that, straight after your half times, you're saying this is what we need to do. Oh.
Great job, Sam Grant, keeping it alive.
Yeah, and
great job, Santo, and great take by Reese as well.
Yeah,
a lot more positive.
And good to see Reese get both his feet set. That little 6-foot floater.
So dangerous.
Yeah, and straight into that open side ball screen. Bentley snatched away by Grant. Pinnock on the run. Williams mishandles it. Bad connection in transition. And on the other side, Dixon gets another piece on one. And that's the sort of stuff, isn't it, DC? We talked about first half.
Absolutely. Great job. But at the same time, you've still got 2 guys in a half or attacking, not getting back. And they've just scored 2.
So that's your point from half-time is with Rockets scoring well. Good defence by Tolawase against early on the big move as well. And who's going to come up with that one? Newcastle do. Federici gets on it. Well covered by Dixon. Skip to Moya. He gets a step on Pinnock. Throws it up. Big rebound by Sam Grant. His 3rd rebound of the quarter. Transition. Tolawase. He's walked into another one and boom! Cashes another one. Tolawase shoots that one really well. He seems to like that one.
Absolutely. Great job. Good composure. And this is where you've got to try and string together some stops now.
Yeah, and there's the UCLA defense with Tolawase.
I personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a forearm.
No, it's a forearm across the throat, DC.
Sam's a bigger guy hitting him, okay? He's going to bounce off.
Yeah, no, I think if anyone does have the view of that again, you'll probably disagree with my co-commentator. And Williams up onto Federici. And now Federici goes right over the top. Much more physical defence at the moment by Rockets. Good to see as Federici just gets his own rebound and puts it in. Good competition here at JMA as Williams goes through. Skips it out, throws it straight away to Newcastle. Williams struggling a little bit to get himself going in this 3rd quarter.
Good that Dixon's on the ball now, trying to execute something.
Blaine gets up off the bench and cheers his team on. Williams finds himself a little 8-footer. Tolawase again gets another offensive rebound, and Tolawase really giving Rockets some, and gets back and steals a rebound. And that's what you were talking about, DC, isn't it? You've got the guy that gets an offensive rebound. Williams got another one.
Great job,
what
Sam.
A rebound by Sam Grant as he flexes his 18-year-old muscles. You like that, don't you? You like the fact that he's flexed.
100%.
Yeah, I knew you would. I knew you would. Mum will be really proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
Julie will be watching that going, that's my boy.
But and that's great effort and energy. And the
Yeah.
Rockets are doing a wonderful job on the
Yeah.
offensive glass right now.
Yeah, yeah.
However, you can't just sprint one way. You can't
Yeah.
just sprint on offense. You've got
So
to
let-
sprint back on defense.
So let's talk us through that play that we're praising Tolawezi. It's an offensive rebound. So what would we want to see happening differently in this quarter now? Tolawezi gets a rebound, and it's his guy going. So what would be an improvement for Rockets in half court there or transition?
So what I would expect is that if you're not going to the offensive glass,
Yeah.
you're already retreating back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And obviously, that's still Sam's guy. Sam still has to sprint back and cover his guy again.
Yeah.
But it can't be that he's scoring the layup, he runs past all his teammates, and then goes and steals the ball
Yeah.
going back to his guy. There should be a
Yeah.
teammate covering him, and then he returns, bumps them back out.
And that in turn is going to really cause Newcastle some problems. 'Cause it's going to
100%.
stop their offensive transition. So
And it always means they're going to be on the back foot defensively, because that means we would have got back in possession.
and play 5-on-5, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, Billy Beddoe, I think you've got your lesson learned from DC. Defense is not overrated, and not only that, it starts the moment that ball is leaving your hands and the ball's gone in through the rim. So, Rockets with this 3 guards that we've seen quite a bit of, and Sam Grant and Sam Tolawezi kind of playing positions 4-5. Moya,
Good defense there.
yeah, again, good defense. Dixon getting his hands on a lot of
Good.
stuff at the moment. And
Great
Reese,
defensive possession there.
yeah. Pinnock finds Grant as he. Oh, what a
Oh,
move!
great
What
job,
a move!
Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 129 of you. We'll should have shared that as well. So have a look at that one. Nice footwork by Sam, but great pass ahead and come all from Rockets defense. DC.
Absolutely. And again,
There it is again.
great job.
Yeah.
Sam's development 2 years ago, he would have collapsed out of bounds on that.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay,
great footwork.
Now, nice balance. Good defense, Federici on that, on a Sherwin Williams. Tolawezi, he's going to pull the trigger for another 3. And guess
Great
what?
job. Great
Reese,
job.
What a rebound. Dixon with the wide open 3. Bingo!
good
there
job.
it goes.
Benches into it as well now.
Yeah. Coach Dan Lloyd's up.
Interesting to see how long they leave Blaine on the bench here.
Yeah. And Billy Beddoe, DC, said, I stand corrected. Oh, what a pass. And, yeah, what a tough move that by Early. Early? Am I saying the name right?
Early, yes, early.
Tough move.
Played against his older brother in the States.
Yeah. Sam now got his confidence up. Looks for the 3. Rare time there. Rockets didn't climb all over that. And Rockets have now got a 1-point lead, and we're midway through the 3rd quarter. We're going to see Jazz Baines coming in. Sam, oh, great effort. We don't get great angles on that, as we know at JMA. It's the only thing that's difficult for us to see in that corner. But I can tell you that Sam Grant nearly had another steal. And there's a different energy about the way that Rockets are defending now, DC.
I think Coach Keane would have got into them at half-time a little bit.
Yeah. Nice move by Moya. Got the out of bounds with Federici. Just back cut there and found himself 2-3 feet of space and knocked it down. Reese, somehow, Reese Pinnock is on the floor, as you can see on the replay. Finds Sam Grant.
I don't understand how this is on the floor,
Yep.
but great job by
Because
Reese.
DC, the referee, said it was, and that's enough from you. Pinnock, unbelievably finding his way under the bucket. Baines with the little lead pass.
He spent the last 2 moments of the game on the floor.
Yeah.
He's got an unbelievable pass and now an and one.
Yeah, maybe there's something in that. You need to play more on the floor.
Great job by
Yeah.
Reese, using his body well.
Yeah. And you want to knock that one down, but he doesn't make that free throw. And there's that transition, and Federici pumps one up quick, gets his own rebound. Tolawezi leaves him. And there's the back cut, the reversal. Moya cuts.
Great.
Offensive foul, great stand. DC, we're talking about that, weren't we? First half, Mark Hayward will like that, seeing Rockets players standing in the lane, taking charges. Protect your lead of 1 point.
Absolutely, and if anything, it's the wrong rotation. He's actually helped off the strong side corner, which is not actually the rotation you want. But if you're going to get there and put your body on the line for your teammates, you can't help but like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rockets now up 167-66. Jazz Baines looking to work with Tolawase on the wing. Pinnock comes off the ball screen, splits it. Grant with a wide open three. Not quite got those. He hasn't quite got those. His boots in the right shooting gear at the moment. Just missed a couple of ones that Sam normally knocked those down. We've seen those go in. Tolawase, defense Blaine. Interesting matchup with the much smaller Baines on him. Tolawase comes across. Gets a handful of Blaine, literally. Gets an armful.
Good foul, I like that foul.
Anything that's physical, you seem to quite like. 129 other people will probably disregard that comment.
He's going to think about going inside differently next time, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach Keane with the steal.
Yeah, good job.
Not quite. Technical foul on 4. And I'm not quite sure what was said there, but the referees, I tell you, with 3 referees, DC, you can't get away with anything.
Absolutely not.
Which is a good thing. You're supposed to say after that.
I've got different views, and I'm going to keep my views to myself.
Yeah. Sam Tolawase selected for the free throw, and he just misses it, and that will annoy him. So Coach Keane managing to get a little bit of extra timeout time there with his backcourt. The explosive Reese Pinnock and O'Showen Williams. As Rockets didn't extend that lead then. We'll be coming off a comment. Nice set coming out of that.
Good job. Great roll by Sam.
Gives it
Look inside.
Sam Grant. Williams, plenty of time. Chuck Dury's in the game. O'Showen finds Chuck. 3 seconds on the clock. 1 second. Reese floats it up, doesn't get it.
I think that's
Federici.
Transition defense.
Yeah, and Cawthorne with the lefty over the top puts Newcastle up by 1 into the last 4 minutes.
I think that's where Sam Grant might want to watch this game back, watch the film back, and right there you got Sam Tolawase inside, mismatch.
Yeah, and straight away with the turnover as well. And that'll be frustrating because that's been a good passage of play by the Rockets, and they now find themselves 3 down.
Got to see Tolawase on these post-ups. Got such an advantage.
Sam in the corner, that's short. Chuck. Now pull up, mid-range, and Sam Grant snaffles it in. Transition turnover. And Coach Keane will call for a timeout, and I think a good one as well.
The game's just got a little bit out of control for both teams.
Yeah. As foul called, unsportsmanlike foul, as Pinnock goes into the wall, jumps up.
Like Blaine potentially.
And foul was by 11, Blaine. Yeah, you're right there, DC. There's unsportsmanlike foul called.
Want to get Gray back into the game, which is good to see.
Yeah, and just like you're saying there, Coach Keane getting a moment with young Sam and just saying to him,
you've got to understand. You've got to understand that while you're running offense and while you're running the set your set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So right there, you get airball free throw by Pinnock there, but you get Tolawase inside with a mismatch. Your offensive set's done the job you want. You just need everybody else to have that awareness of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Whereas Sam is, trying to make stuff happen. He's trying to get himself going instead of just having the game come to him a little bit.
Yep. And Joe Kincaid, somehow I think is Charlie Haynes' fan club. Big up Plymouth in capital letters. Back in the game is a Gekwe. He comes back in as they see zone now from this tough Newcastle unit.
Yeah, they're in foul trouble, so they have to switch it up. Oh, yes, Ronnie.
Gekwe goes up, gets fouled, What a great offensive rebound, DC.
Great job. Just into the game. Pogo stick.
Yeah, Showan Williams goes flying at the basket, as we just see on the replay, goes up and under, and a Getway, great timing.
Great range.
Just misses his. Just
That's
misses.
cool on Cawthorne there.
Yes, he.
But we'll take it.
Yeah. Getway settles himself in. Gets the friendly roll.
Job.
Ronnie, who spends all his days shooting at this exact basket at JMA as a year 12. Goes a bit long on that one, and guess what? Chuck nearly got
Great
that one
job
out.
getting a hand on it by Chuck.
And we're off and running again. 1 point game, and we've got a really, really good game here for the 133 of you to watch it. A Getway with great defensive
job.
coverage.
Oh.
Just fouled by Tolawase. That will be his third, I think. And definitely his softest foul of the game, Danny.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that foul.
And the person he fouled didn't end up on the floor for the first time.
Well, I didn't enjoy it.
So here we go.
Good job.
Ball in. Ronnie all over, and Ronnie
Another
Getway
rebound.
defensively, terrific job on Cawthorne. Pinnock attacks, chucks it up. Ronnie goes and rips it. He finds Pinnock. He finds Pinnock, and Pinnock. What a great play by Ronnie Getway, who even has time to stop and tighten up the knee straps. And there it is, off the floor.
2 guys hit the deck.
Off
Awareness
the floor,
to find Pinnock.
Yeah. Travel violation called. What a getaway as Rockets take a 1 point lead in what is a terrific game of basketball here at JMA.
You can feel the tension though. You can feel the tension growing because you get to the end of the third quarter. It's a one possession game. You can feel both teams now are already feeling the pressure of not making any mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this zone has slowed Rockets down a little bit. As Showan gets a look at a three, comes out. Cawthorne snaffled by Tolawase. Goes at it, finds a Getway. He's finding Pinnock, who makes an unbelievable catch. Tolawase's going to shoot from the other corner, and bingo, he makes it from that corner, and Rockets go up 4 going into the last minute. And DC, just for you, they get transition defense. Oh, Getway makes a save. He nearly gets another hand on it.
Loving watching this young man play.
Pinnock will look at attacking that one. Good finish by Federici, as Federici gets in the way. And Chuck Duru was...
Great play by Federici there, by the way.
Tried to take the ball out of bounds, and Federici was shoved out of the way. That's what happened there. And after all that, we have Rockets lead by 2. 49 seconds to go.
What a game.
Fantastic. And Ronnie's given such a great positive energy to this game, and now we're going to see now if Rockets can unpick this zone, as Tolawase likes the look of another one. Oh, foul called.
And the Rockets now will be going to the line.
Tolawase thinks he's Steph Curry now, and then he's just
up to
made
21.
21 points, and I think that must be his third 3, DC?
Yeah, 3 for 5.
Yeah, good return as well. Coach KEANE now has managed to get Reese out for some well-deserved rest.
Absolutely, great minutes by Reese, and it'll be interesting to see now how the clock's managed by both teams here. 35 seconds to go after these free throws.
Yep. How important is the last shot, DC, for momentum?
Going into the fourth quarter, it's probably the most important end scenario apart from the fourth quarter itself. Unlucky by Chuck.
I fully expected Ronnie to come up with that, and he wasn't even anywhere near it.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. You might have wanted to save that one for later, sort of thing, but it's not a bad one to give away. Now your defense can be set, but it's so important that Rockets get a stop here and then get a good look the other end. Not necessarily a make, but a good look.
Definitely you can feel the physical improvement in this Rockets defense,
Absolutely.
DC, in this third quarter.
And I think the young man, Ronnie, has provided some of that.
Yep.
And now that Newcastle will be shooting too.
Yeah, and I think as a young player, Dixon picks up his third there, doesn't he? And all the young players that are out there you know, you've really got to know what your team foul situations are, because you're going to put teams on the line like Federici. And he just misses the first one.
Frustrates your coach.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the important thing. Your coach
Yeah,
is the one that controls your minutes. If you make silly plays by not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, Federici misses a pair, and Chuck just goes out of bounds.
Tough one. 14 seconds down the shot clock and 19.9 left in the third.
Yeah. And I'd like to see Sam T in those free throw situations.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see him in there as probably the best athlete, along with Ronnie, that can claim rebounds from everywhere over people, or, you know.
And Tolawese matched up with Blaine now.
Yeah, interesting. And Ronnie on Cawthorne, who's had a really solid game as well. Big unit as well for Newcastle with Cork in. That is Cork, the player in, not Corkin, if that makes sense. That's not a coaching term for like popping out of the defence. He was Corkin. It is literally the player, number 14, is called Cork, who's in the game. For clarity.
Appreciate that.
Pleasure. Mark could have enjoyed that. Nessa G says, let's go Rockets. Thank you, Nessa. 130 of you nearly in this, and a little brief respite for everyone as the ball comes in. Ubuntu and Ronnie gets called for a foul, and I think that's experience over enthusiasm, right, DC, where Newcastle now know any fouls in this last 17 seconds means that you're going to get 2 free throws.
Absolutely, and also for this young man, he's done such a great job of denying the ball.
Yeah,
Energy is enthusiasm.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to deny the next one, but
yeah,
you know, when their bigs popping out that far, just being contained, understand the time and score.
So, O'Showen Williams, he'll want this last shot, and
absolutely.
Rockets will want to see this go through the rim, or a getaway to get some massive, And that one was right underneath us, and I think that's what happens when you're young as well. You're going to get hit with those, unless you're perfectly still, you're going to get called by the referee for any sort of movement in that.
And a tough final 35 seconds since we've been talking about the end game for Rockets.
Yeah, and in it comes Blaine against Tolawese, and Rockets will want to see this one not going in, as it's a floater. Good rebound as well. Chuck yet again gets his body in the right place, isn't he?
And great for Chuck as well to come in and show what he's doing today for this group. Such a team-based guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes in, just get your body on the line. Particularly, Chuck hasn't shot the ball well. He'd be frustrated with that. There's some of those shots he knows you're going to knock down, but he still contributes in those other areas, right?
And that's him staying in the game, and that's him staying as part of the team ethos, if that makes sense, is making sure that he doesn't let his offense dictate how he plays the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about one. So Moya, who's played, I think, a really nice game. He's only played 17 minutes for 16 points and put together a really sort of 7 for 11, 5 for 7, 2 for 4 from the 3, just missed his free throws. Is that the sort of guy that you think Newcastle will come back with? He didn't play much in that quarter.
No, and I think he's in a little bit of foul trouble, but this is the thing. Look how effective and dangerous he is.
Yeah.
When he is playing. I think, you know, Rockets need to be conscious of that in 2 ways. One, when he's got the ball in his hands, how effective he is.
Yeah.
But also when Rockets are on offense, attacking him.
Okay, yeah. And that's something that's really important. And you're right, I've just looked at the live stats, and he's on 4 personal fouls, which, as I was saying yesterday to Coach Hayward, I think, many years ago, one of the Coach Titmus would say to us, well, if that guy's really, really good at scoring, you want to make him foul because he can't score if he's sat on the bench.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those oldies but goldies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where, you know, if you can do a good job on them and attacking them, especially early on in the game where they're having to consider fouls as a problem for them, then you give the other player something else to think about. So it's one of the beauties, I think, of this game being a very deep 3-dimensional game. There's so many things to consider.
Absolutely.
That players are having to toe their own personal lines. But one thing to keep an eye out for is if Moya does come back in the game, will we be able to, you know, foul him out? Or if I'm Newcastle and they will want him to play the last 3 or 4 minutes?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I think it's key. You could see how much he wanted to be on the floor there, and Coach Elderkin had to say to him, unfortunately, my man, now's not the time sort of
Yeah,
thing. I
yeah.
need to use you when I need to use
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And we might see him a little bit earlier if the game starts getting away from Newcastle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you want one of your main guys sitting for too long before you get them back into the game for the end game? You know,
Yeah.
it's a tough balance for a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So Williams still on 13, Pinnock 10, Dixon 12, Tolawase 21, Sam Grant 8. They're your leading scorers for Rockets as we start this really important fourth. Finds Tolawase under the rim. He's going to like the look of that with Cawthorne. Pinnock with a nice cut. Guru goes through, steps under, goes off the glass. Tolawase with the tip. Cawthorne comes up with it, does he? He does. And offensive foul. Dixon yet again. And a technical foul called against Cawthorne. Well, that is a real let-off where Cawthorne gave it up in transition, as you just saw in the replay. Gave it up. Got frustrated. As we said, no place for 3 refs to get away with one, is there? Sam Grant goes to the line.
Absolutely, and that's so difficult, those scenarios sort of thing. And Rockets, great job. 3 guys on the glass. Again, what are the other 2 doing? They should be getting back. Dixon, great job putting his body on the line. However, lucky for Rockets, because Blaine was off. Got the ball from Cawthorne, was off to the basket.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Just going to give you the free throw numbers, DC. Team Newcastle are 4 for 12 from the line, and Rockets are 5 of 11. So something to look for in the Tolawase. Blaine plucks it out the air. Foul called by Sam Grant, and Blaine tells him. You can see this game has got some feeling in it, as you see players and coaches, referees getting together, doing a good job of managing that emotion.
absolutely, and Rockets need to be careful here. Let's keep that equilibrium. Fire in the belly, but ice in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think that's
nice
really
one.
key.
And Cawthorne's gone out. And Early's come back in. That's Cawthorne's 3rd.
You know, they played really well today, Cawthorne.
Yeah, been
Really
very
good
solid.
minutes.
And Blaine gets some body on him.
Down
Weak
low,
side, finds Tolawase.
mismatch. Oh,
Kicks
Sam's
it
got
out.
to see that.
Sam wants that one to go. He doesn't get it.
I think this is where, when Sam gets older, he's doing such a wonderful job on the offensive glass. His perimeter shot's not falling today.
Yeah.
It's just keep working on that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Get yourself going that way. He's kind of trying to take one a little bit too soon every time to get yourself going.
I thought Toller was going to shoot that one. Sam's having another look at that one. Big group, big matchups for Newcastle, the physically big group. Tolawase looks for that one. Chuck goes in, goes to the left, just misses it. Another offensive rebound goes missing. Federici, good defense on the perimeter by Pinnock. Tolawase joining back in. Now we've got Dixon in the post against Cork. He kicks out early, likes the look of that one.
I'd like to see Cork try and punish Dixon there with the mismatch.
Yeah, and Pinnock kicks it. Sam looks at another one. And foul called. Technical foul on 7. Not for clapping at the shooter. So it's right underneath us. So I can tell you, as I was privileged to that information, direct
Don't
from
see
the
that
referee.
call too often either.
No. So couldn't see that. It was Sam went to shoot a 3. He strokes the free throw.
Also,
Technical.
if you're that player and you're running out to Sam and he's not shooting great today, don't give him a free throw.
Yeah, absolutely. In comes Moya, so interested. So Federici now goes out. And coach is managing, he's on 3 fouls, he's going out. So interesting to see if we might see Dixon lines one up. He strokes it through the middle. And another good feet set, a wide open three that goes straight through. So good offense that by Dixon. Good pass by Pinnock. And into the game now is O'Showen Williams.
And with the lineup that Newcastle has got right now, they've got two bigger guys. Rockets really need to try and get some stuff going in transition.
Yeah, and
great job,
you know,
Sam.
DC,
here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna see as well. Pinnock's defense there was outstanding. Tolaway's made 2 or 3 of those ones. Good box out. O'Showen Williams, and that was all Sam Grant.
Great
DC.
job.
Just gets his body on that, forces early to shove him out, and O'Showen turns up. Pick and roll defense, very dangerous. Moyer gets to the spot that he likes. Cork with a big rebound and puts Tolaway's on his back.
5-point game.
Yeah, 5-point game. And we've got O'Showen now. Got his tail up, Tolaway's, that looks short. Yeah, and transition, but picked off by Williams.
And you see the difference there? O'Showen's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the ball's coming to him.
Tolaway's somehow finds his way through and says too small, I think. Is that what that means?
It's exactly what it means. Look at you being up to date with stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. But now can Tolaway's continue that defense he's given as Blaine goes inside?
Where's everybody else? Where's everyone else?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Sam go there.
Yeah, making someone else make the play.
Absolutely.
Rockets with a slender 5-point lead this game. Tolaway's gets another one. Finds Grant a 3 that he really wants to make, and he strokes it from the corner.
Stop celebrating, Sam.
And Coach Keane straight away says, hey, we need this end, guys. We need this end. And he's absolutely right. Big, important time of the game. Big screen. Blaine goes. Sam Grant.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam right there.
And that's a big play by Blaine, isn't it?
And this is the problem. He finally makes one, and he's so happy he's made one. You forget what's next.
Yeah. Absolutely,
it's
yeah.
An end game. Just what's happening next? And what happens? He's late, gives away an and 1. And I think that's what Coach Keane is trying to tell him right now. Where's the ball?
Yeah. Quite right.
Celebrated. No, forget about it. What's next? Go make another shot.
And keep an eye on this rebound, DC. You've now got 1 free throw and got O'Showen Williams against Cork on that rebound. So let's keep a look on that. If this comes out, which fortunately didn't, O'Showen fancied that rebound as well. Pinnock, Williams.
Haven't seen anyone attack more
gives it up to Dixon, who's just long on that one, but Sam gets it. O'Showen. O'Showen misses the chippy. Nothing doing there. And tough matchup here. Moyer wide open. Who's going to come up with it? Newcastle come up with it. Ball stuck in the corner. Good defense by Rockets. Foul called, and that will put Rockets into the 4th, and I think that will be Dixon's 4th. So we're going to see a sub pretty soon. His 4th. Will it be Baines? It will be Baines coming in and straight into guard. So now Tolaway's at home defending. Blaine looking as though he wants that one. He lets it go. He misses it. O'Showen picks it up. Moyer blocking foul. And guess what, DC? Moyer is gone.
What a tough one for your 5th.
Yeah, I mean, as we see in Coach Keane, just setting up Baines to say, you know, you're in for Dixon, get your matchups right. This is 2 free throws are going to come for a show on. No, it's on the floor. It's on the floor.
Federici back in though now for Newcastle. Another great playmaker.
Really big group for Newcastle.
Looks like a bit of zone here for Newcastle as well.
Coach Keane's going to want to see. Yeah, here it is. This is the one that Williams will want to make. Just comes out.
Sam
gets hold of it. Gets the flex as well.
Job.
Gets the flex. Now can Rockets get that vital stop? Baines forces a pass in. Baines against Blaine. Help defense will be needed here, we think. Tolawese switches, good cover by the veteran Tolawese. It's kicked Federici from miles out. Snaffle by Tolawese. Jazz Baines comes in, good pass.
More.
Finds a Sherwin Williams. He goes straight to the bucket, just misses the layup. Mishandled, 3 on 2.
Good job by Jazz being back. Great job by Jazz being back.
Terrific defense by Rockets. They lead by 7 with good energy in the room.
Get transition defense right, good things go your way.
And another technical foul. Another technical foul called by referee Griffin. Not sure how or where, but
I think potentially taunting from the bench.
Yeah, you can see it there. So
Yes,
it's young.
I think Mr. Tate has decided to get up and clap at someone.
Yeah, well, that's disappointing because he's just given the opposition. And referee.
I think when you haven't checked into a game and your contribution is give away a technical.
-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But Baines against Blaine. Sam Grant ready to help. What a finish by Blaine.
Great job.
Yeah, and
great job, Ronald Blaine.
As Baines goes behind his back, finds Pinnock. Pinnock throws it out of bounds between him and a Sherwin Williams. 4-point game. Newcastle
what a
fighting
take
back.
by Blaine. Sam Grant comes over, extends to try and block it.
Yeah. Coach Titmus on the comments.
Great job of showing. Right.
Looks like they might just give us a shout if the stream's down, because turnover by Tolawese and foul. So Coach Titmus says, I like being an oldie and a goldie. So interesting, Coach T. Rockets defending. Coach Titmus.
I think, again, and it happened last week with Leicester. You come down to the crutch of the game, things are getting close, and you kind of go away from that team ethos of guarding the ball. You're more worried about your guy doesn't score in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I think Rockets have done such a great job now in the second half, buying in, getting into the spots you're supposed to be, that you can't go away from it now right in crunch time. We're down to a 2-point game. Both teams are shooting free throws from here on out with 3:13 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll keep talking you through this one as well, because we've got an absolute cracking game of basketball, and we've had a great opportunity to bring these games to so many more people as well in this time, DC, and it's and good to have the insight of people like yourselves and players and coaches from around basketball all over England. They're able to, now with the ease of streaming, it's almost literally you can get a phone to just get the game to people.
Absolutely.
So,
great stuff.
Firstly, how great that is, and we'd just like to encourage as many people as we can to continue with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we go into the end game 3 minutes. Interestingly, with Moya out, that's put the ball in Blaine's hands more, which he will enjoy.
And you could tell the way he carries himself, the way he is on court, he loves these moments.
Yeah.
He wants to have the attention. He wants to have the ball. He wants to make the big plays. And that also fills your teammates for the confidence. And this is where I want to see O'Showen become that guy for Reading as well.
Yeah, and the last 3 minutes is where those players stand, isn't it? And what a move! Ruled off by the referee. Tough call. Sam Grant got himself in.
This is where VAR would be brilliant.
VAR, yeah, absolutely. Momentum's shifting calls each time now. Cawthorne back in, covered by Tolawese.
Good job,
Both
Pinnock.
teams in the penalty now, 2 minutes. Blaine likes the look of that three, just comes out.
Great job
Baines
by
with
Jazz.
a great rebound, snaffles it in, handles the ball up the floor. Good defense by Newcastle. Good composure by the young man. Showing he's going full speed and goes right at Cawthorne as Rockets get the 4-point lead.
And Sam Grant as well there. Great composure.
Yeah, good pass.
Sees the floor,
yeah,
skips it.
Composure from Baines in the backcourt,
Absolutely.
composure from Grant, and good composure. And I think they'll be frustrated.
I just, Holloway's is such a great physical defender. I think, again, this is where you just got to know time and score, know the foul situation. Do you need to guard Cawthorne that way at that moment? I think that's such a difficult one. You do a great job on the other end, extending your lead to double-digit, two-possession game. So then go away and potentially get 2 points right back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good rebound by Pinnock. Cawthorne just misses that one. One possession game. Tolawase kicks it to Williams, sets his feet and bangs it home. Big shot by Williams, puts his team up 6. Can Rockets defend without the foul now? Sam Grant goes in. Jazz Baines gets the body on Cork. And Cork misses the layup, but it's going to go and shoot a pair.
And a great job there by Baines, making sure he doesn't get the and-one. Cork makes the first at the line.
Right. So, for those of you, amazingly, the stream team have been running the board, Sammy.
Great board.
Amazingly, the stream team have managed to fix the entire internet. We have no idea how, but we are back up live. Foul on red 15, I think that was.
Yeah, I think on Jazz Baines.
Yeah, and I think these are the sorts of games where everyone needs to stay composed. So if you have just joined us, keep telling everyone that we're back. The feed's back up as well. DC, they've missed some of your brilliant commentary. Federici with a quick three. And
great job, Sammy Grant.
I mean, Coach Keane saying slow down.
Little horns action.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see now. Big possessions. Baines comes off. Ball in the hands of Williams. He likes that one. He finds Tolawase, who goes underneath, and he makes the layup. What a finish by Tolawase.
And this is where you want your big players to shine.
Absolutely.
Great composure, great patience, good execution on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Oshone breaks the first line of defense.
And
help comes.
DC, we have got another technical against, I think it's against Newcastle Uni. It's against...
And I think he's now been ejected as well.
Yeah, that is Yabantu, I believe, DC. And he has to leave, I think he has to leave the county nowadays.
Yes.
You used to just have to go and sit on the bench. Then it was leave the court, then it's leave the arena.
To be honest, I don't know what he could possibly be annoyed at. There's nothing on the last possession before the timeout that could be any kind of conflict sort of thing. I think it's just when emotion gets the better of you.
Yeah.
You need to be composed in these scenarios. You can't be getting technical fouls with 1:05 left when it's just gone to a 3-possession game.
Yeah, and anyone knows you, DC. You're well known for keeping your composure.
You get technical, you get it in the first half. You don't get it in the second half.
Absolutely, but you're right. There's the moment as well, and with a minute to go, Newcastle have they're in this game, aren't they? 7-point game, and they've got Federici, Blaine, Cawthorne, all capable scorers that can get you into this game. But with a minute to go, the entire context of this game seems to have swung. So a much improved performance from Rockets in terms of perhaps defensively, given up 88 at the moment. They were giving up about that. Is that right? We said before the game. That was
Yeah,
yeah.
roughly.
Williams gets a
89 for a game.
chance.
And considering they were on course to give up 120 after the first quarter,
Yeah, right.
so 30 in the first and 58 the rest of the way.
Yeah. Good point.
Missed the technical free throw.
Yeah, and shame for that. I think that's the third technical that that Rockets have missed, DC, and they can help you get over the line.
Massively.
And remember, this is a Rockets team without the high-scoring Leon Francis. Good switch. Yeah, terrific defense there. Tolawese and Pinnock, terrific defense between them. And Coach KEANE will love to see that in the final minute, won't he?
Absolutely. Be interesting to see what Newcastle does here.
Yeah, they need to do something. Oh, down 7.
Not that.
No.
That's the...
And I think this is something as well as, you know, we've got a few more of you just joining back in, and thanks for you rejoining the stream, and thanks for the stream team going up to the, I think they actually went up to the, literally went up to the sky. And as Sam Grant knocks it in.
Great second half for Sam here. Tough first half, really good second half by Sam Grant.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you would say a good game so far by Sam Grant without even making his, what you would say, the bread and butter 3, right?
Absolutely.
Blaine pulls up. Interesting. Ashoa Williams got the matchup. Blaine goes by him, throws it up. A lot of contact. Pinnock in good stance, but
and I think
referee calls it.
I think as well, a lot of praise needs to go to Ronnie.
Yes.
His involvement in the second half.
Yeah.
The energy he brought, some of the possessions he kept alive, you know what I mean? That helps build confidence and momentum within your group. You know what I mean? I think he needs a lot of praise for that as well. Chuck Duru as well.
Well, yeah, so you Chuck Duru, Ronnie Agekwe.
Tautus, when he's come in, has been really solid. So it's been a good team performance today.
And it reminds me as Blaine strokes the free throw. Reminds me of the play when Cawthorne was on a bit of a tear and Jacob Satouts came in and just stopped him once.
Absolutely.
I remember you reminding us about that. Blaine, back rim, and Sam. Referee says, I can't see that, so we're going to go to VAR. No, referee's VAR is they talk to each other.
Back to Stockley Park.
And they say, did you see it? I didn't see it. Did you see it? I didn't see it. What about the other guy?
Good thing we got an arrow.
Yeah. Jump. So that's on the arrow. Possession to Newcastle. 26 seconds left.
And
still
a stop here.
Absolutely.
Stop here.
Newcastle,
you can walk the ball out.
If Newcastle make a 3 here, they've got a chance for a steal. There's still plenty in this game.
Don't want to take too long.
Yeah, Blaine with that Nowitzki step away.
Yeah.
Gets it in, and Newcastle will need to stop the clock. They're not, and they've just given it up. Strange that.
And then to foul there.
Yeah, I think
just
when you're down 6 with 26 to go, I think Coach Elderkin will probably be a little bit disappointed with that on the floor. Danny?
I think he's a little bit deflated by how his team's potentially managed the end of the game.
Yep, it's
97-91.
Yeah, and Sam makes that 98-91.
Good job by Sam stepping up at the end here to make these free throws.
Yep, and he goes on to 17 to join. Oh, what a tip by Ashoa Williams. Wow.
This is what you like to see, guys playing to the end.
Yeah,
you like to see this.
Absolutely. And thank you as well to JMA for hosting this one. For another great game of basketball as we finish on the buzzer. And Rockets would be really proud of that game, DC, and that to come off yesterday to play against a very talented unit in Newcastle with some high-profile scorers as well, with some real good ability, especially when we're looking at the scouting report. Newcastle will be frustrated with that one. But what's your roundup, DC, before we take a look at some of the scorers and some of the highlights?
I just thought it was a really good team performance for Rockets today. I mean, they kind of bounced back from something that was a little bit lackluster yesterday, despite going up against a tremendous outfit like Solent. But I think maybe that's what Coach Keane's saying right now, is that, guys, you know, we put yesterday to bed. We bounced back. We had a good team performance, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
You know, and we can build on it this week now, okay? It doesn't just, we celebrate today. We've done what we needed to do, we've won. When we get into the next practice, we've got to build again.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and maybe, you know, a few extra free throws this week might make the game a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, and I think that might be my wife or my son saying close. I think that means game, close game. I think, and they're absolutely right, because it felt all the way through, even when Rockets were up early in the game, came out the blocks, you called it like that's not the way the game is going to go, and then they went down and then came back from that.
Absolutely.
So good character as well to see from the team. They'll be pleased with that as well. Great characters. They get a well-deserved round of applause.
Absolutely.
And if I just give you some of the scorers, DC, so Ashoan Williams with 20, Pinnock 10, and in 36 minutes, and a really vital performance defensively. Dixon with good contribution, 15 points on offense. Tolawase 25, Sam Grant 17 as your leading 5 scorers. So a good spread, right?
Massively. And the way Sam scored today, I think is really notable. Only 1-3.
Yeah.
Made sure he got himself going by getting on the offensive glass. I think that's a really big step for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to sign off now and leave you with some shots of the game as well. And it just remains for me to say thank you to JMA for brilliantly hosting us as always, especially in these times. So thank you for that. Thank you to the referees, to the officials, to the COVID teams that make it happen, to the amazing stream team, to our sponsors, the great outdoor gym company. So if you are at home, get on that app and then get yourself out there and enjoy your health. And of course, to Rockets' favourite, Danny Carter, thank you. And Danny, any last words?
Thank you for having me, and hopefully we can continue this winning run now.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, and we shall see you again very soon.
Hello everyone, Todd Lindley back again. I'm joined by Sam Grant after a terrific performance today against Newcastle in the win for the Rockets 98-91. Sam, how do you feel about your performance today?
Yeah, coming off a tough loss yesterday, I think I bounced back pretty well. I think the whole team did. Tough team as Newcastle, 8-3 I think there was. But yeah, I think overall good performance from the team and myself as well.
How did you deal with like Ronald Blaine, who's been lighting up the league this year with averaging over 21 points?
Yeah, I mean, he was giving us a bit of talk down there, quite a lot, especially at the half. But we kind of came out gunning, tried our best to just bring out energy and just go at him really.
You came really, in that third quarter, you came out really strong, taking the lead in that third quarter again. What was said at half time? What did Coach Keane say?
Yeah, you know, Coach Keane just just getting us fired up really. You know, we wasn't bringing much energy. We was kind of letting them walk all over us really at the first half. But as you can see, like it worked. The thing at half time. So yeah, he kind of just fired us up. It wasn't nothing tactical. It was just straight energy, and that's what we bring out.
The energy, and the result will come.
Yeah, definitely.
So after yesterday as well, like Kestrel's was a tough loss. I mean, it was a very, very hard-fought game. How did you recover? How did the team recover after that loss?
Yeah, I mean, we just had to make sure we stretched, you know, ate well when we went back, and just watch film, watch the scout. Obviously, Solent are a very tough team. You know, they haven't lost yet, haven't lost in 2 years, 3 years. But so yeah, that was a tough game yesterday, but I think we bounced back pretty well.
That's brilliant. And so next week, we have 2 games, don't we? It's Barking and Loughborough. How are we going to prepare for those 2 games?
So we're just going to, you know, bring energy and practice again. That's what we've been doing recently, you know, especially that last little bit in this game when we was up 7. We've been working on that all practice, and there's nothing different to us. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, we'll do the same this week. Bounce back next week with another doubleheader.
That's cracking, Sam. Thank you ever so much. And I'll be joined with Alan Keane in just a second, guys. Alan, terrific win today, 98-91 against Newcastle, a very top side in this league. How do you think of the win? What do you think of the win?
A win is always good. You know, there's no denying it. We always talk about performance and playing to the best that we possibly can play and executing the things that we want to execute. However, after a loss last night against Solent, getting a W today was important for the team, for the club. We're currently on a losing record. I believe now we're 5 and 6. So and we've got some tough teams coming up. So Newcastle coming down here, they had a 9-3 record coming into this game. They got a lot of firepower, which is why the game was 98-91. It's a high-scoring game. Halftime 54-51. They scored 54 points on us in the first half, which gives a picture of the type of the weapons they have and how dangerous they are. But yeah, it was good to get a win. Good feelings for the guys as well.
It's amazing to think that yesterday it was a very, very tough game. Like watching it was very high intensity against a very, very strong Solent side. How did you prepare your team after that loss to tonight in just one game?
This is the first time this year we've had a double header. It's the first time we've had, and I believe Solent have had like 4 already. And that's not easy. It's not easy. It really isn't. And we got a bunch of guys who are, we got a mixed group, very, very young, and then we got a couple of guys who are a bit older, like Sam Talawasi, Leon Francis. The rest are mid-20s or teenagers. And, when someone like Sam Talawasi tells everybody, to eat clean, drink clean, and get your rest tonight, and Ben Dixon's giving those messages, and Leon Francis is giving those messages, when those guys of that age are giving the messages to everybody else, people listen. And I think looking at the guys today, I was worried, Todd, I'll be honest. I didn't know if we could play with the same tempo. Could we play as aggressive as we like to play? But we did. And 51 points in the first half by us. We gave up 54, like I said, so there was things we need to be better at for sure. But in terms of the energy output, the effort, especially on the offensive end, I liked it. We've got to be better on the defensive end. But the energy was there. There's no question. So these guys obviously did the right thing, looked after themselves. We tapered training during the week as well. It wasn't a typical week for us because we knew we had a double header. So, when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, it allows you to play 2 games back-to-back at the required level you want to play at.
And you say about the leaders in the side, Sam Talawasi and all them, and Leo as well. How important are they? Because you mentioned after the Bradford win, you mentioned that people like Chuck Duru as well are all putting a massive input behind the scenes. How much of an impact would you think they had throughout the whole week, this week?
Well, not necessarily behind the scenes on this point. I mean, very much at the front of the camera. Sam Talawasi goes out today and scores 25 points and has 10 rebounds and just plays like fatigue, tiredness, and just fights through it. And that needs to be noted. Like, younger guys need to see that. So that veteran presence, the voice is not enough. And we have some really good voices in this team that give the right message. But they got to show it too. And Sam Talawasi was great today. With that Chuck as well. Chuck came off the bench and gave us a presence in the paint to rebound, just be in there, mix it up in there, which we didn't have in the first half. And Leon on the bench, who's out injured today, he didn't stop. He was talking the whole time, encouraging the whole time, being a leader vocally because he couldn't be on the court with a knee injury. That's very important. And it trickles down. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Jacob Tate, who plays the least amount of minutes on this team, he's now become more and more vocal on the bench. And it's very noticeable for me because that wasn't there before. So it's contagious. It trickles down the line.
And now moving forward also, you've got 2 games next week, Barking and Loughborough. How are you going to compare to another double game week?
Well, you're preparing for 2 different teams. When we're coming out, next week will be different to last week because we're coming off the back of a doubleheader. Whereas last week we didn't play on Sunday. We played Saturday. We had Sunday off. And then we went back into training on Monday. This week's going to look different because we played Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to have Monday off tomorrow. And we'll only train once on Tuesday. We normally go twice on Tuesday. We'll only do once on Tuesday. So the week will look slightly different. And obviously you're preparing for 2 different teams. But right now, I mean, if you look at how we play, we have some things we need to fix with us as opposed to preparing for that opposition. And it's basic stuff like valuing every possession. We're turning the ball over 20 times a game. We're having 20 turnovers a game, and we're still scoring, I think it was 98 points today. And, we've had games where we've had 25 turnovers and scoring 100, and you're kind of going, right, well, if we could limit turnovers, are we suddenly a 110-point team? Could we be that, like Thames Valley Cavaliers, for example, are? Now, on the flip side, that sounds great, and we can maybe work on that. But if we don't sort out the defensive end, we're in trouble. We won today giving up 91 points. We gave up 90-plus points to Solent yesterday. We've given up a lot of points to teams every game this year, and we've got to figure ourselves out defensively. I think one-on-one we could be decent, and it's the second line that's really helping us. So it's that position off the ball, it's the anticipation, it's the vision, and it's the reaction speed. Are you making decisions based on what's happening, or are you late to the party with those decisions? And we've got to get better in those areas, no question.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you ever so much. I'll let you go back to your team and celebrate the win. So that concludes our stream for today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you soon.
Our gyms generate electricity when you exercise. We use this energy for charging phones and lighting spaces. We also plant a tree for every piece we install, and we've even made a gym from recycled aerosol cans.
We've done a lot in the last 10 years, but the best is yet to come. Our gyms will support ocean cleanups and tree planting programs to protect the environment.
The Great Outdoor Gym Company aims to be the greenest and greatest gym chain in the world.
Let's make a difference.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
We're in! We're